Today's update on Cowboys Nation brings some interesting developments that could significantly impact the way Dallas handles its rookie contracts this year. Especially in the second round, the San Francisco 49ers, surprisingly or not, have set a precedent that might actually help the Cowboys finalize deals with their own recent draft picks. It's a subtle but important shift, and it's worth diving into the details to understand why. But before we get too deep into that, we'll also touch on a notable signing from the NFC East rival, as Von Miller has officially joined the Washington Commanders, which adds a new wrinkle to the division's landscape, starting with the rookies. Alfred Collins, who was picked by the 49ers just one slot before Dallas grabbed Donovan Ezaraku, recently inked his contract. This is crucial because, until now, the majority of second-round picks across the league have been waiting on their deals. Collins' signing is like a key that's starting to unlock a wave of second-round contracts, a domino effect that the Cowboys will benefit from as they negotiate Ezaraku's terms. The deal Collins signed is a 4-year contract worth just over $10 million, with guarantees exceeding $9 million, which is a strong indication of how teams are valuing this round of rookies more aggressively than in previous years. The guarantees, in particular, stand out. Collins' contract guarantees about 88% of the total value, which marks a significant jump compared to last year's 43rd pick. That's not a small detail, as the Cowboys management can now look at that figure as a benchmark. The way rookie contracts are structured under the current collective bargaining agreement means these numbers scale with the salary cap, so we expect the figures to rise gradually each year, even though the jump in guaranteed money looks dramatic at first glance when adjusted for the increased cap space. It actually aligns with the general upward trend in rookie compensation. This provides the Cowboys with a clear reference point to negotiate from without overpaying, but still staying competitive. What complicates things a bit is that earlier this offseason, the Texans made waves by offering Jay Higgins a fully guaranteed contract, which was unexpected for a second-round pick and has slightly disrupted the market stability. It raised expectations among agents and players, pushing the Cowboys and other teams to reassess their offers. Still, the Cowboys have a solid track record with second-round deals and typically handle negotiations without much drama. Given this, it's expected that Donovan Ezaraku will sign his contract before training camp kicks off, especially considering he has indicated he won't hold out or push back aggressively. The possibility remains that if negotiations drag, the Cowboys can use the waiver process to keep him involved in team activities without a signed deal, which eases pressure on both sides. Looking at the bigger picture, only 3 second-round picks have signed so far this offseason: Carson Swissinger, Jaden Higgins, and Alfred Collins. This means most of the remaining players are still waiting, but Collins' signing sets the tone for what's fair and reasonable. Analysts who track these contracts note that Collins' guaranteed money represents about a 30% increase over last year's comparable picks, which shifts the market upward. That said, when you adjust for the salary cap increases, the actual percentage rise relative to the cap is closer to 10%, still a noticeable bump, but not an unexpected leap. This trend is typical as the league's cap goes up each year, and rookie contracts are scaled accordingly, following the terms outlined in the collective bargaining agreement. It's interesting to compare these deals with other recent second-rounders. For example, last year's pick number 42, Kamari Lassiter, had a contract with 3 fully guaranteed years and part of a 4th-year guaranteed, similar to Max Melton's deal at pick 43. Meanwhile, other players like Jackson Powers Johnson and Eden Cooper had more limited guarantees, with some drop-offs in the later years of their contracts. The Cowboys themselves have leaned toward a 2-in-2 model for some of their recent second-round picks, guaranteeing the first 2 years but less so beyond that. This provides some financial security while giving the team flexibility. Players like Luke Schoonmaker and others from mid to late second-round spots have seen similar deals structured this way. Max Melton's deal from last year, for instance, guaranteed the first 3 years fully, but only $50,000 was guaranteed in the 2027 season, with the cap having increased significantly by around $18 million this year. Alfred Collins' deal is naturally larger in every aspect. The projection suggests Collins will have roughly $1 million guaranteed in 2028, possibly a bit more or less, but it marks a notable increase. This is relevant because the Cowboys have likely been preparing to offer Donovan Ezaraku a similar structure, possibly guaranteeing the 3rd year fully, following this emerging trend. Jackson Powers Johnson's contract, by comparison, didn't guarantee anything far into the future beyond the first 3 years, so Collins' deal changes the baseline expectations. All of this means that when the Cowboys and Ezaraku's camp sit down to negotiate, there will be room for some back and forth. But the financial scale is relatively modest in the grand scheme of NFL team budgets. We're talking about differences of maybe a few $100,000, up to $1 million at most in guaranteed money numbers that are significant to the player, but not deal breakers for the franchise. NFL teams, especially ones with the Cowboys' resources and salary cap management skills, should be able to accommodate these variations without too much trouble. If anything, the presence of Collins' contract in the market makes the path forward clearer and sets expectations in a way that can prevent drawn-out holdouts or complicated standoffs. From a fan perspective, this means that Donovan Ezaraku is very likely to be signed and ready to participate fully by the start of training camp. His own statements about not planning to hold out back this up, and even if negotiations get tricky, the Cowboys have mechanisms to keep him involved in team activities. It's a win-win situation where both sides can focus on football rather than contracts, moving beyond the Cowboys and their rookies. The signing of Von Miller by the Washington Commanders is another story that has caught attention across the league. Von Miller, a legendary pass rusher with a Hall of Fame trajectory, has joined the Commanders on a 1-year deal. While the financial details aren't fully public yet, the significance of this move is clear. Miller is no longer in his prime, and the role he's likely to play will be different from the dominant sack machine he once was. Instead of being a full-time every-down player, he's now on the Justin Houston career path, signing with contenders as a veteran presence and situational pass rusher to add depth and experience. At 36 years old, Von Miller isn't expected to rack up double-digit sacks like in his peak years, but he can still contribute valuable pressure and leadership. The Commanders' roster had some needs in their pass rush rotation, and Miller fills a gap, especially alongside players like Cleveland and Furl, who handle significant snaps opposite Dorrance Armstrong. His presence gives Washington a better rotation and more options in passing situations. While his recent stats show a decline in sacks and quarterback hits compared to earlier seasons, the Commanders view his experience and skill set as a valuable addition for Cowboys fans and those watching the NFC East closely. Miller's signing is something to keep an eye on, but not necessarily a cause for alarm. The division is competitive and every roster move counts, but the Commanders will likely see Miller as a situational player rather than a game changer on his own. Still, his Hall of Fame career and name recognition add some intrigue to the division's dynamics this season. Back to the Cowboys. The big takeaway is that the Alfred Collins contract gives the front office and Donovan Ezaraku's representatives a much clearer picture of what's fair market value for second-round rookies right now. It sets a benchmark that should smooth out negotiations and hopefully prevent any major holdouts or conflicts. The Cowboys have shown in recent years they manage rookie deals professionally and efficiently, so fans should expect Ezaraku to be ready for camp and fully integrated into the team's plans. As all this unfolds, it will be fascinating to see how the Cowboys balance their cap space, rookie deals, and veteran contracts to build a competitive roster. The NFL is always evolving, and with the salary cap going up, the scale of deals increases as well. Understanding these contract trends is crucial for fans who want to stay ahead of the game and see how management operates behind the scenes. The financial side might not always be the most glamorous part of football coverage, but it directly affects the team's ability to put talent on the field. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be a sign of growing tension in Dallas, whispers around the league suggest that quarterback Dak Prescott may be voicing frustration with the Cowboys front office. While nothing has been confirmed publicly, sources close to the situation hint at a brewing storm behind the scenes, fueled by Prescott's alleged criticism of management decisions. Prescott, the face of the franchise and a respected leader in the locker room, is reportedly dissatisfied with the team's direction, particularly the lack of urgency in surrounding him with championship-caliber talent. With the Cowboys yet again falling short in the postseason, questions have lingered about whether the front office is doing enough to capitalize on the quarterback's prime years. Insiders suggest that Dak's comments, described by one source as pointed and honest, reflect his frustration with personnel moves or the lack thereof. During the off-season, there's talk that he's growing weary of repeated promises that failed to materialize into playoff success. While these reports remain unverified, they've already sparked debate among fans and analysts alike. Some speculate that this dissatisfaction may be tied to contract talks as well. Prescott is entering a critical phase of his current deal, and his camp may be using public pressure as a strategic lever. If true, it wouldn't be the first time a franchise quarterback raised his voice to force a front office to act. Still, others believe this is merely off-season noise, part of the natural friction that comes with elite players demanding accountability. Dak has always been known as a team-first leader, and any comments he might have made could have been driven by a desire to push the organization toward greatness, not personal discontent. Whether this is smoke or fire remains to be seen, but the buzz around Prescott's alleged remarks won't fade anytime soon. With training camp approaching and contract questions looming, all eyes will be on Dallas. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.